Hey everybody, it's Jasmine. So today I'm going to show you guys my favorite brushes, and I wanted to just sit down, talk to you guys without any makeup because, as you guys know, and when you watch the video, I have some breakouts and my skin's kind of clearing up now, but that's why I didn't want to film for this week, because just my skin has just been making me feel really ugly, and I know that we've all been there and done that, but that's the reason why I didn't feel like making a makeup tutorial this week. But hopefully this will do because you guys have been requesting it. And this is my little go-to brush container, and I didn't want to mention my beauty blender because, let's be real, you guys know what a beauty blender is used for, and I know that a lot of YouTubers use it, so I just wanted to just talk specifics with the brushes. So I'm going to start off with my face brushes. The first one that I have is from BH Cosmetics. It's the number 117 brush. It has a flat top angle to it, and I really like it because it's very dense, and BH Cosmetic brushes come in sets, and the sets are actually really inexpensive, and they go on sale quite often, so they're really good. I use this to just buff in my foundation, and that is why it's so amazing. Flat top kabuki brushes are the way to go. The next face brush that I have is by Real Techniques. This is the Expert Face Brush. This one's a little bit more forgiving if you're trying to find something at the store right away, because BH Cosmetic brushes are usually online, and this one has more of a rounded tip. It's denser than the flat top kabuki brush, and this one just buffs in the foundation a little bit more quicker because of the dome shape that it has. To blend out my concealer, you guys have never seen me use this, but this is the BH Cosmetics 128 brush. It is a fairly large shader brush, but it's very dense, so that's why I use it to blend out my concealer. And as you can see, I'm blending out every single part of my concealer. It's gentle enough to go under the eyes, but it busts it out so that the color is still on your face, and that's the reason why I like it. I don't really use it on camera because, you know, I would rather just use my beauty blender because it's quicker, but in cases that I don't have my beauty blender, that's what I reach for. For my powders, I usually reach for the Real Techniques Multitask brush, and this is just a very big powder brush. You can honestly use any powder brush. This is just the one that I bought, and I thought that, I don't know, it just stuck with me because it's just so pretty. The color is really nice, and I love that it's not too flimsy and not too dense, because I like my powder to kick off some color onto my face. So I just find that this brush does everything, and I also use it to brush off my baking. To bake, I usually use the BH Cosmetics 127 brush. This one is very interesting. I used to use the e.l.f. one that looked very similar, but the e.l.f. one compared to this is very thick and very dense. This brush is very flexible, and it's very thin, so you can get a very precise cut to the face, and that's what I like. It really cakes on your powder, so I don't know, if you don't have a beauty blender and you want to bake, you should try one of these flat angled brushes. Now for brows, I have only been using one brush for my brows, and this is a BH Cosmetics one. This one condenses so well with the brow pomade by Anastasia, and this one came in the same kit with the other two BH Cosmetic brushes, and I just feel like this one just does its job very well. I've tried other angled brushes, but they're too thin for my brows, but this one is very thick and dense, and I really like it. Normally after my brows, I'll always conceal, so I use the e.l.f. concealer brush, and this is my tried and true. I've had this for so long, so many years. This has not done me dirty. I always had this in my kit, and I was always thinking, when am I ever gonna use this? And once I started doing my brows, this one was the one I chose, and I have never used another brush to ever conceal my eyebrows with. For eye brushes in particular, it was really hard just to narrow some down, but there are some that I feel like give you the same look, but they're just price difference. So I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rundown of my favorite eye brushes. The first one is by Real Techniques. This is the Deluxe Crease brush, and this is what I use all the time when I want to set the concealer or primer on my eyes with some powder. This is just very dense and it just does the job very quickly and easily. I have 3 brushes that do the same exact job. The first one that I have is the Morphe E13 brush, and this is what I love to use when I want to pack on a lid shade, put on a crease shade, blend it all together all in one. And I feel like this one is really good. This is actually the most expensive out of the 3 that I have, which is crazy because Morphe isn't really that expensive. The second one that I use is the e.l.f. I don't even know what this is called, but it's an e.l.f. brush. I'll find it on the internet somewhere and I'll link it down below. But this is an e.l.f. brush, and this is an amazing brush. It's a little bit smaller in fullness than the Morphe one, but it does the exact same job. It has more of a taper to the tip, but honestly, same thing. The next one that I use is the Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush, I guess, but it doesn't have a name, but I'll find it on the internet. It's wider than the 2 Morphe and e.l.f. brushes, but honestly, same thing, and I feel like this is an incredible dupe if you want to find something a little bit cheaper. It's only like $1 or $2, so you really can't go wrong with those. The next brush that I have is by Kestrel. It's the all over eyeshadow brush, and this brush was gifted to me, and it is the best brush I have ever used in my life. This brush is so good for a cut crease, if you want to blend out your lower lash line, if you want to put some more color in your crease. It's just a really nice brush. I feel like everyone needs like a small blending brush like this. If you guys watch my channel for a long time, you guys already know that I only use one brush to ever blend out any eyeshadow look, and it's the Sigma Tapered Blending Brush E35. This one is very short and very dense at the base and very fluffy at the end, and it just has enough stiffness to it to really smoke out or really blend out a look. And I feel like if you use this brush with those 3 brushes that I mentioned before, then I feel like you're gonna get a complete eye look, and you really just can't go wrong with a really good blending brush. For the inner corner and brow bone highlight, I love using the Sigma pencil brush in E30. This one is small enough to get into those hard to reach places, and you know, sometimes my fingers are too big, even my pinkies are too big to just pop on the color, so this brush is perfect. Again, you can't really go wrong with a small brush, so you know, get your hands on a brush like this. It doesn't even have to be Sigma. I know Sigma is just a little bit expensive, but you know, I know e.l.f. has really good brushes now, so you can probably find a good dupe. Nowadays, you guys know I love putting some liner into my waterline, and the brush that I use to pack on eyeshadow on top of that is the Real Techniques Brow Brush. And I find that this brush is so amazing when it comes to really packing on color. This one really gets the color soaked up into the brush, and it just transfers so nicely and very smooth that this brush is honestly a go-to. I've used it for months and months and months now. For contour, I use 2 different brushes. I vary from them. The first one is the BH Cosmetics 126 brush. This brush is the exact same brush that I used in the beginning of my channel, if you guys remember. And this one, it just has something to it that I think that BH Cosmetics just perfected. Just the shape in general is how it's very dense in the base of the brush, and then it just is very flexible towards the ends. It's just very nice and easy for a sun-kissed bronze. And the second brush that I have is the Morphe M523 brush. This brush is so good for an all over bronze, but you know me, I kind of just squish the brush in the base and I kind of use it to get a precise contour. But I kind of prefer the BH Cosmetics one, but if you're looking for a bigger brush, or if you have a bigger face than I do, then I feel like the Morphe one would benefit you a little bit more. Blush, I also vary from 2 different brushes, and the first one that I have is the BH Cosmetics 125 brush, and this one is a multitask brush. You could use this for contour, blush, highlight, anything you want, you know, to put powder all over your face. This kind of brush and the way it's tapered is just the way to go if you're starting with makeup and you don't know what kind of brush that you want. If you have a brush like this with a very narrow dome shape, then I feel like you don't really need a lot of brushes. This is like a brush in one. The second brush that I have is a BH Cosmetics brush. I believe the name is totally rubbed off. I use this so much. This is from one of the first makeup brush kits that I've ever gotten, and I just love it so much because it doesn't shed. None of these brushes shed at all, but this one doesn't shed, and I feel like it holds a lot of product, and then when it diffuses on your cheek, it diffuses evenly and perfectly, and I don't know, I just always go back to this one. To highlight, you guys know recently I've been really obsessed with the Morphe M501 brush, and this one really condenses all the powder to your cheek. It's very precise, and if you want a specific highlight, then this one is the way to go. If you want it to be really poppin', then honestly buy this brush. Alright, so this fan brush, this has been through hell and back with me. I always go back to it no matter what. This is the BH Cosmetics fan brush. It came in the same set with that blush brush that I was talking about, and this one just diffuses the highlight so it looks like it's a glow from within. It doesn't look very caked on like the Morphe one does, but you know, all in preference, all within the makeup look that you're doing. Finally, the last brush that I have is the BH Cosmetics blending brush. This one also came in the set. This is so weird. I just buy a lot of sets from BH Cosmetics, but they really do work, and I love using this brush in particular for my nose contouring. I have never found a better use for nose contouring. I remember I used to use a really big brush for my nose contour, but recently I really just want my nose to look very slim, so using a slim blending brush really does the job. Alright you guys, so that concludes all of my favorite brushes. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and it doesn't even have to be the same brand. I know that a lot of other not so famous brands or not so well-known brands are coming out with these brushes too. So, you know, head over to like Target, get an e.l.f. brush, or go to TJ Maxx or Ross or something and find brushes that are very similar to these, and hopefully they will, you know, change your makeup application game. And I hope you guys a lot, and if you guys want to see any more videos like this, then please let me know. As always, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.